Welcome back to Investing Talk Podcast. Today, we are tackling a really big one, a question that seems to be driving so much market talk lately. Is Tesla a good time to buy right now?
Yeah, that's definitely the question in everyone's mind, isn't it? It feels like a potential turning point. So our job today is to try and cut through some of that noise. We're pulling together the latest catalysts, looking closely at the technical signals, and digging into the core financial data you send over. The aim is to give you, our listener, a clear, hopefully unbiased picture of where Tesla stands today as an investment.
Right. We're looking at a stock that's, well, known for its huge swings, massive volatility, but also these incredible rapid gains. A lot of that seems driven by the whole promise of autonomous driving tech. And the next few months, maybe the next 90 days specifically, look absolutely critical. There are some major scheduled events coming up that could really push the valuation one way or the other. And hey, if you find this kind of analysis useful, please do hit that subscribe button for us. Give us a like, maybe drop a comment below. Also, if there's another company you'd like us to dig into like this, just let us know in the comments. We do read them.
Okay, so let's maybe unpack the journey just over the past 3 months. Because the price action has been, well, a real whipsaw. Earlier in the summer, you had that incredible 90% gain, just huge. But then, bam, July 2025 hits, and there's a sharp 8% drop in a single day.
Wow, yeah, that definitely signals some nervousness. Profit taking, maybe?
Exactly. Massive profit taking, and you could feel a certain caution creeping in among the shorter-term holders.
So what was going on underneath all that? Was it just market jitters, or were there actual, strategic shifts happening inside the company?
That's the interesting part. While traders were maybe getting nervous and locking in gains,
Yeah.
the company was actually sorting out some big internal stuff. Like in July, they finally finalized that CEO compensation package. Remember all the noise around that?
Oh, yeah, that was a long saga, so that's settled now.
Well, settled for now, yeah. It removed a pretty significant overhang, at least in terms of immediate investor sentiment and, legal questions.
Okay, fair enough. But does that really resolve the underlying governance questions, or just kick the can down the road?
That's a totally fair point for the long term. But for analysts looking at the next few quarters, it took a known risk off the table. And maybe more importantly, it coincided with this strategic pivot starting to become really clear. You saw analyst discussions starting to move away from just focusing on the weekly or quarterly vehicle delivery numbers.
Which is a tough, low-margin game anyway, right?
That's exactly. High competition, tight margins. They started pivoting the conversation hard towards the longer-term, potentially higher margin stuff. We're talking robo-taxi expansion, the Optimus robot development. They're actively trying to shift how the market values them.
And we actually saw some real-world progress backing that up in August with the regulator.
We did. August was big for that.
Yeah.
Both Nevada and Arizona gave the green light for expanded driverless vehicle testing on public roads. That's a major step. It really bolsters the case for FSD, the full self-driving capabilities, being more than just a feature. It's moving towards a real service.
Yeah, getting it out of small trials and onto more public roads is huge for proving it out.
Absolutely. It's critical for licensing, for scaling, for everything.
And that brings us pretty much up to date. September saw the stock climb again, right? Fueled by delivery numbers.
Yeah, on September 22nd, it trended up over 3%. Partly strong delivery figures, yes, but also this continued optimism. And you've got the Austin, Texas robotaxi trial running now, actually demonstrating autonomous ride-hailing. It's getting a lot of attention, showing it's, tangible.
Which leads us right back to the core question then. Is this rally built on solid ground, financially speaking, or is it mostly hype around these future promises?
Exactly. We need to look at the fundamentals. Does the financial engine actually support this kind of valuation and ambition?
Let's do that. Let's talk financials. We hear the big valuation numbers, but is the underlying business actually healthy? What did the 2024 results show?
Okay, so the 2024 numbers paint a really interesting picture. It looks like a company deliberately sacrificing some short-term profit for potentially long-term dominance. Revenue in 2024 hit $97.69 billion. That's up about 0.95% from 2023. So, continued growth on the top line. Steady.
Okay, steady growth. But what about the bottom line, the profit?
That's where the story changes quite a bit. Net income actually dropped significantly. We're talking 52.46% down, landing at $7.13 billion.
Oof, okay. A 52% drop in profit. That does sound worrying. What drove that big compression?
It seems to come down to mainly two things. First, margin pressures across the whole auto industry. That's not unique to Tesla. But second, and this is key, much higher R&D investments. They poured a lot more money into exactly those future projects we were just talking about, AI, FSD, robotics.
Ah, okay. So the profit drop wasn't necessarily things going wrong, but a conscious choice to spend more on development.
That seems to be the narrative, yeah. The insight here is that the 52% drop isn't necessarily a failure signal. It's more like a capital allocation decision. They're essentially telling the market, look, we're giving up billions in profit now to try and secure leadership in potentially massive future markets.
That's a huge bit they're making. But if they're sacrificing profit like that, the balance sheet better be rock solid to handle the risk, right? Are they financially stretched?
Actually, no. Far from it, based on the data. The balance sheet looks incredibly robust. They're sitting on over $26 billion in cash equivalents.
Hmm.
And their long-term debt is pretty modest compared to their total assets.
Okay, so they have a cushion. What about day-to-day operations, liquidity?
Yeah, ample liquidity. The quick ratio, which measures that immediate ability to cover liabilities, has been consistently above 1.0. For anyone tracking, a quick ratio above 1.0 basically means they have enough easily accessible cash to fund things without financial strain. Gives them a lot of flexibility.
Okay, so the financial foundation seems solid, even with the R&D spend. But what about competition? It's heating up. What's Tesla's actual moat? What protects them?
The sources point to sort of three main layers to their moat. First is just scale. The gigafactories, the vertically integrated supply chain that gives them a cost advantage that's hard to replicate quickly.
Sure.
Second is that tech leadership, specifically in AI software. That FSD capability is probably the biggest differentiator against traditional automakers who are still, playing catch up on the software side.
Okay, scale and tech lid makes sense. The sources also mention unmatched brand recognition. I mean, really, don't brands like Mercedes or BMW have incredibly loyal followings too? Is brand really a moat against, say, a competitor with better AI?
That's a good challenge.
Yep.
And maybe unmatched is strong, but it ties into the third moat, the ecosystem lock-in. Tesla isn't just selling a car anymore, right? They're selling access to this evolving tech platform. Constant software updates, the potential for future services like robotaxis, that shifts customer loyalty away from just the brand prestige towards the actual functionality and the future possibilities. It's a stickier relationship, potentially.
Okay. Ecosystem lock-in. That makes sense. So solid foundation, clear strategy, known moats. That sets us up perfectly for what's coming next. If the fundamentals are there, what are the specific guaranteed events in the next, say, 90 days that are likely to cause some real market movement?
Yeah, this next quarter is packed. First up is the Q3 2025 earnings report. Now, there's a bit of conflict in the sources on the exact date. Could be October 15th, maybe October 22nd. But regardless of the exact day, the focus is the same. Expectations are running really high. Analysts are forecasting about a 24% jump in earnings per share, and they see revenue potentially comping $24.6 billion. So a beat on those numbers would really validate that big R&D spend we talked about.
And deliveries. That's always a huge focus for Tesla watchers. What are the expectations there?
Right, the delivery number is always critical. The analyst consensus for Q3 seems to be around 447,000 vehicles. Here's where it gets interesting. The whispers, the high-side estimates, are already pushing towards 472,000. If they manage to beat that upper range, that could trigger some pretty significant upward revisions to future guidance. The stock could be highly reactive after the report.
Okay, so earnings and deliveries are key internal catalysts. What about external market stuff that could add volatility?
Yep, there's that too. October 25th brings the institutional holdings update. That's when the big funds have to disclose their positions. Seeing where that institutional or smart money is moving can definitely cause ripples in volatility as everyone else reacts.
Okay, and then into November.
November often brings seasonal factors. You've got things like ETF, quarterly rebalancing, just passive index funds, shifting holdings, plus the early buzz around the holiday delivery report. These things can definitely exacerbate short-term trading swings, sometimes independent of company news.
So looking beyond the immediate numbers game, what's the really critical event on the calendar that might signal the longer-term direction, more than just deliveries?
I think that would have to be the December 20th event. That's when they're expected to give Q4 guidance, but also a potentially significant robotaxi update. This is huge because it should give us clues about their capital expenditure priorities. How much are they really going to spend scaling up autonomy and robotics next year?
So that's where we see if the pivot is real in terms of dollars committed.
Exactly. If they announce a massive CapEx increase specifically tagged for robotaxis or Optimus, the market will take that as a strong signal. The shift from just making cars to becoming an aerobotics company is genuinely accelerating.
That tension, that pivot point, is really everything, isn't it? Okay, let's look at how this is playing out on the charts. Shifting gears a bit to the technicals and maybe some of that high-impact speculation. The stock's been volatile, yes, but what are the charts actually telling us?
Well, the technical picture right now confirms a pretty strong bullish trend has been established. The really key event happened about 3 weeks ago. The stock broke out and decisively above a major resistance level around $361.85. That level was identified as the top of a trading channel that had held for like 2.5 years.
Wow, okay. Breaking a multi-year ceiling like that is usually pretty significant, technically speaking.
It really is. It often signals a major shift in psychology, much stronger demand coming in. And importantly, that old resistance level, $361.85, now tends to act as support.
So the new floor is roughly where the old ceiling was, around $361 to $380.
Precisely. That $361 to $380 zone is now seen as near-term support. Looking upwards, the next major hurdle, the next resistance level everyone's watching, is around $458. Technical projections based on that breakout suggest that if the stock can manage a solid weekly close above $458.82, it could open the door for a move towards the $523 to $525 relatively quickly, maybe in the next, say, 3 to 5 weeks, especially if earnings provide a boost.
Okay, so potential path higher. Are the momentum indicators backing this up? Is the move looking sustainable, or is it getting overextended?
Good question. Right now, they are supportive. The stock is trading comfortably above both its 50-day and 200-day moving averages. That's your classic uptrend confirmation. And the RSI, the Relative Strength Index, which measures the speed and change of price movements, it's currently in the 55 to 65 range.
Which isn't considered overbought yet, right?
Exactly. It's strong, showing good momentum, but it's not yet in that overbought territory above 70 where you'd start worrying about an imminent sharp pullback. So there seems to be room for more upside momentum.
The technicals look constructive then, but let's be honest. With Tesla, the really explosive moves are often driven by, well, speculation and future potential. What are the big, high-impact rumors or speculations floating around that could potentially shatter even these current valuations and force a total rethink?
Right, the what ifs. The biggest one by far revolves around the robo-taxi disruption. There's persistent speculation, maybe hope, that they could announce a widespread, like full U.S. rollout of robo-taxis by the end of this year.
A full rollout by year-end. That seems incredibly ambitious.
It does. But if it were confirmed, or even if a clear timeline was announced, wow, that would completely change the recurring revenue potential. It would directly challenge the existing rideshare giants and demand a fundamentally different valuation multiple. Think software as a service margins, not auto margins.
Okay, robotaxis is number one. What about the hardware side, the Optimus robot?
Yeah, the Optimus speculation is heating up too. Rumors suggest that manufacturing is being seriously fast-tracked. The chatter is about aiming for large-scale deployment, maybe initially in logistics or their own factories, starting as early 2026. If that happens, suddenly Tesla isn't just a car and energy company, it's a major player in industrial robotics. A whole massive new market opens up almost overnight.
And then there's the AI core itself. Any buzz about partnerships?
Yes, there's also market chatter about a potential, AI-focused alliance with another major tech giant. Maybe someone with huge cloud infrastructure or complementary AI research. The idea would be to pool resources, share data, and enhance the self-driving capabilities even faster, potentially creating an almost insurmountable lead in FSD technology.
Okay, so those are the big blue sky scenarios. Let's try and bring all these threads together now. Based on everything we've discussed, the recent momentum, the financials, the upcoming catalysts, the technicals, and these speculations, what's the overall takeaway? What's the investment thesis looking like?
Synthesizing across the sources we looked at, the consensus reflects what you'd call an overall bullish rating. On a scale of 1 to 10, it's coming in around an 8.5. Pretty strong. And the rationale behind that is fairly clear. You've got solid fundamentals, especially that strong cash position and continued revenue growth. You have confirmed bullish technical signals after that breakout. And then you layer on top the potential for significant, maybe even asymmetric upside from the upcoming Q3 earnings, and particularly from these core innovation drivers, the AI, the robotics, the autonomy push.
Makes sense. But we absolutely have to acknowledge the flip side. No investment is risk-free, especially not one this volatile. What are the key risks that investors really need to keep in mind here?
Definitely. You absolutely need to be aware of the risks. First, rising competition, specifically in the pure electric vehicle space. It's getting crowded. Margins could continue to compress there. Second, the sheer amount of money required. These ambitions, new factories, massive R&D for AI and robotics require huge capital expenditures. That's always a risk, execution risk. And finally, just broader macro factors, market volatility, interest rate changes, economic slowdowns, those can hit high-growth stocks like Tesla hard, sometimes regardless of how well the company itself is doing.
Okay, so strong potential but definite risks. Given that mix, what's the takeaway for an investor's time frame? Is this more of a short-term trade on the upcoming news, or does it still make sense as a long-term holding?
Interestingly, the analysis suggests it could appeal to both right now, which is kind of rare. For shorter-term traders, there's definitely appeal in trying to leverage the potential catalysts just over the next quarter, the earnings report, delivery numbers, maybe some news on robo-taxes. But it also remains a compelling story for long-term ownership. If you believe in the secular growth trends of AI, robotics, and sustainable energy, and you think Tesla can maintain its edge, especially in software, then the long-term case is still very much intact.
Right, and that leads perfectly into a final thought for you, the listener, to maybe chew on after this. We know the near-term stock price is often driven by hitting or missing those quarterly EV delivery numbers. That's the game right now. But the really transformative long-term value hinges almost entirely on software monetization.
Yeah, that's the key pivot. If, and it's still an if, but if a successful FSD rollout happens, or if they strike major AI licensing deals, if they unlock a truly high-margin recurring software revenue stream that's separate from just building and selling cars,
Yeah.
how fundamentally does the market have to reevaluate this entire company? Not as a car maker with good tech, but as an AI and robotics leader that also happens to make cars.
That shift, that potential re-rating from automaker to aerobotics powerhouse, that's the ultimate inflection point to keep watching very, very closely.